Hey guys, so as the team name might imply, this randomly rolled team defeated a 1535 ranked player on the ladder. So this is this team's ladder achievement. It gets to stay in the team builder because it got a ladder achievement. I think it was the only team that I rolled that actually defeated a player that was over the 1500 mark. So that's pretty impressive for this team. And what's interesting about this one is that all 6 of the Pokemon are double types. So we have 2 normals, we have 2 waters, and we have 2 grass type Pokemon. And I honestly wasn't expecting this one to do as well as it did, clearly. But let's go ahead and go over the team. We have Tauros. And a common theme with the team structures that I've been rolling is that I'm actually ending up leading Tauros a lot more, even if I do roll a conventional lead like a Starmie, just because leading with something like Starmie only works if you have the meta team build to back it up. Like, Starmie needs padding in order to be a viable lead, because Starmie itself is an amazing Pokemon on its own, right? And that's only going to work if all of your other Pokemon are also amazing Pokemon, right? So if you look in the sample teams and you see all the Starmie leads, well, of course they're Starmie leads because they're sample teams, right? They have an entire team structure and beginning, mid, end game build in mind where Starmie fits as the lead. But if you're rolling algorithmically generated teams like I am, you're hardly ever going to get a situation where Starmie is a good lead, where it has the necessary padding in the back to be a good lead. So I actually end up using my Tauros as the lead, and I'm also not guaranteed Tauros. Let's review the rules for a second, right? All of the Pokemon that I deemed viable in OU, viable in the sense that they have a niche in OU, are in the bucket. They are in the bucket to be drawn, okay? And Pokemon that are more viable in OU have a higher draw chance. So like the big 3, Tauros, Chansey, and Snorlax, have a higher draw chance than everyone else. And then you go down the viability ranking and their draw chance increases, right? But there's no guarantee that I'm going to draw any big 3. There's no guarantee I'm going to draw Tauros, right? So Tauros, he might not even be here, but usually when he is, he's more often than not the lead on the team because he's just the most viable lead that I have, I mean, you could say, oh, but Starmie's a viable lead, but we've already talked about why Starmie isn't a viable lead in this case, and that's because I actually want Starmie to do things. So let's go back up to Tauros. This is a variation of the Uber lead Tauros. I took off Hyper Beam. This is actually pretty viable. I've been experimenting with this one, and it's pretty viable. Hyper Beam's also still viable, but let's talk about this one. So, Stomp for the flinch cheese. That's why Tauros is a lead in Ubers, because the Stomp flinch cheese. You could stomp a Jinx to death. You could, stomp a Jinx. And the idea with Jinx is you want to do Stomp Hyper Beam to finish off the Jinx. Clear and hot. Nice and clean. However, as you get higher on the ladder, the Hyper Beam finish in the early game on Tauros becomes extremely predictable, right? They think, okay, he wants to avoid getting put to sleep. He's going to do Hyper Beam now, and they'll switch in something to absorb the Hyper Beam. I mean, that's not all that bad because Tauros gets crits for days, but it can still be pretty bad if they catch your Hyper Beam and now you're in a situation, right? So we're going to go with a trick Tauros in the beginning. They think Hyper Beam is coming, but instead you throw out a Body Slam, paralyze their switch, and you keep working. Earthquake is, of course, for the Gengar lead, right? Do an Earthquake, maybe get a crit, get that out of your face. It's contingent upon the speed tie, but it's still more valuable for me to keep Starmie. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about why Starmie is more valuable. Well, if it's an enemy Starmie lead, or an Alakazam lead, that is where Starmie is going to come in, right? And it could be a Thunderbolt Starmie. I mean, I have a Thunderbolt Starmie, but their Starmie could be a Thunderbolt Starmie, but really, Starmie looks like my only reliable counter to enemy Starmie. Okay. Now, if it's an Alakazam lead, I can go out into Executor on turn 1. And if it's a Starmie lead, I can go out into my own Starmie on turn 1. But Starmie is a huge threat to me as well, right? And similar to Uber's, where it's like Mewtwo is the counter to Mewtwo, this time Starmie's my counter to the enemy Starmie. I just need to get a Thunder Wave on that enemy Starmie, period, in order for my other Pokemon to have a chance at defeating it, okay? So, standard Executor, nothing big to see here. Psychic Thunderbolt Starmie. Victory Bell. Now, this Victory Bell moveset is actually my favorite Victory Bell moveset. I believe the standard Victory Bell moveset is Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Wrap, Razor Leaf. There is also another variant that is Wrap, Stun Spore, Razor Leaf, Swords Dance. Now, that Victory Bell doesn't have Sleep Powder, but that Victory Bell's job is to spread paralysis and then continually flip the stats with Swords Dance so it will become faster than the enemy and it can continue free wrapping the enemy, right? And then the strength of its wrap kind of snowballs the more the enemy wants to switch in and out and potentially catch another Stun Spore. So when the Victory Bell is the strongest, it will also have the lowest health, but the idea is to spread Stun Spore and do as much damage as possible with Wrap with that Victory Bell. This Victory Bell, I think, is the most versatile Victory Bell because you still have paralysis chance with Body Slam, and you're also giving yourself a strong physical move to punish switch-ins and punish Pokemon with weak defense, okay? So let's say you miss a Wrap and your opponent wants to switch in something, boom, Body Slam right there, potential paralysis, larger physical damage, great for chipping things down to continue wrapping. So Body Slam on this Victory Bell is really the switch punishing move. And of course, it still gets to retain Sleep Powder, right? And when I'm rolling bad teams, I generally like to keep 2 sleepers on the team just because I don't have that reliable defense that meta teams have, right? So it is more likely if you're playing as me that an enemy Pokemon will wake up throughout the course of your battle because you don't really have a meta build to keep the pressure on, to keep your momentum up, right? I'm often playing around the opponent. The opponent is hardly ever playing around me. And then we have Gyarados. This is an interesting Gyarados set. I experimented with this one, and I would say this one's viable. This is a viable Gyarados set. So ordinarily, Gyarados has Thunderbolt here, where Leer is, okay? But I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, all the times I've rolled Gyarados, how much good has Thunderbolt actually done me? And I was like, really not that much. Really not that much. What's Thunderbolt's use case for Gyarados in OU? Starmie, Slowbro, Cloyster, that's really about it. That's really about it, guys. Okay, so let's think about those 3. Starmie, Thunderbolt is a 3-hit KO on Starmie. And 1v1, the Starmie is going to Thunder Wave you. It could have its own Thunderbolt. It could Psychic Drop you. It's going to heal itself. What good is that Thunderbolt going to do you on Starmie, okay? Slowbro, same scenario, okay? It's going to Thunder Wave you. It's going to flip your speed stat with Amnesia, and now Thunderbolt's useless. It's not going to do anything. You got to pray for a crit on Slowbro, okay? Cloyster. Thunderbolt is arguably the best against Cloyster. However, okay, Cloyster can explode if you're not going to kill it in one hit. Okay, so what's that really doing for you? Not too much. So Thunderbolt on Gyarados is like a perfect miracle situation tool that, well, is only going to come in handy if the enemy water type is almost dead anyway, okay? So the idea with this Gyarados is Leer is going to flip the speed stat on the enemy Pokemon, okay? Even if they're not water types, right? It's going to flip the speed stat. You're going to move first. Your opponent's not expecting Leer, and now your Body Slam and Hyper Beam are way stronger. You're looking at a potential 2-hit KO on most Pokemon with Leer on Gyarados, and you're going to move first. And if they want to switch out, guess what? That Body Slam's coming. It's coming to punish your switch out, right? Leer to Body Slam all day, every day. So this is a really solid OU Gyarados. I think I much prefer having Leer on OU Gyarados than Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt has done jack squat for me on Gyarados. And unfortunately, I don't think I get a Leer play in this video, but don't fear not, Gyarados will likely be rolled again at some point in the future. And Persian. There are 3 Persian variants. The one you've seen me use before was Growl Persian, and that Persian exists to solely counter Tauros. Not solely, I mean, Persian has other uses, but that Persian's use case is to defeat Tauros in the 1v1, okay? There is Hyper Beam Persian, which kind of specs into max damaging your opponent through Persian's crit rate and stab Hyper Beam. And when you're doing that version of Persian, you're going to have either Thunderbolt or Bubble Beam. So you're going to be hurt by either Gengar or Rhydon. I mean, you're always going to be hurt by Gengar, right? But Thunderbolt with the crit chance does a bit more damage, a lot more damage to Gengar than Bubble Beam does. Another aspect to think about is Persian's crit rate combined with Thunderbolt poses a major threat to the main water types, Cloyster, Slowbro, and Starmie. Okay, so Thunderbolt is actually very helpful against the water types, so I'd say Thunderbolt is preferable to Bubble Beam. However, you don't want to go without either one, because then you're looking at Rhydon, right? So the Hyper Beam Persian is a very specific use case where you have padding for the other vulnerabilities. In this case, I do not have that padding. So I went with the mixed attacking Persian. Just the straight mixed attacking Persian, Body Slam / Bubble Beam, Thunderbolt. Okay, I don't have Hyper Beam and I don't have Growl. And I need the Body Slam because my only Thunder Waver is Starmie, and then Stun Spore and Executor. Okay, and Stun Spore is very inaccurate, so I'm doubling down on my Body Slams quite a lot in this team because I need to be able to spread the paralysis in any situation for any sequence. So let's go ahead and go into the match. Alright, there's that Tauros lead, Alakazam. Now, do I want to go Starmie here? I think I do because Tauros speed is still valuable to me. Let's see if I do it. Oh, of course, Starmie, not Starmie, Executor. Yes, that is the correct play there. Okay, he goes right to Cloyster, presumably to counter my Tauros. And I think this is going to be a Starmie block from me. Right? Okay, now where to go from here? I think I might double here. Right? Because Thunder Wave is obvious. And I think he's going to go Chansey, and doubling is it seems like a huge risk, but the only thing he can realistically do is explode on me with this, right? Clamp ain't going to do anything. Blizzard ain't going to do anything. I think this is a safe double. Oh, I doubled a Victory Bell. Okay. Why Victory Bell, not Executor? Interesting. I see what I'm doing. If I doubled a Victory Bell, I can follow up the Sleep Powder with a Body Slam. Whereas if I went Executor, I would have to Psychic the Chansey instead, right? So he would get a sleep turn off because I would have to switch in something else to chip out his Chansey, right? And I'm also speed tied with Cloyster, meaning that I can potentially one-shot it with a Razor Leaf, right? And unless he gets a crit, I survive the Blizzard. So this is a very lineup method heavy team, right? I have to take risks. Obviously, I'm leading Tauros. I'm gambiting, sequencing in Victory Bell first as opposed to Executor, just to get maximum use out of it. I essentially need to sequence in a way that I trap my opponent into doing what I want him to do. Okay, so please land. Okay, Rhydon. Okay, it misses. Oh man. Okay, that's devastating. So I think Razor Leaf here and then Sleep Powder again is my only option. I think he is going to put the Rhydon back in to absorb the sleep because he thinks he needs it the least from what he's seen, clearly. But, that's okay with me. I think that's okay with me because if I try to play around Rhydon on the sleep powder, he's going to switch in something to brutalize either my Victory Bell or my Executor, right? Even if I hit him on the switch with something. And if I go Razor Leaf from here, predicting he will put in Rhydon to absorb sleep, then Victory Bell is going to get paralyzed, and I'm going to lose my wrap. He's going to delete my wrap. So I don't want that. Okay, he goes Alakazam. Going to go back to Executor, gotcha. And Sleep Powder here, I believe. He's going to put Rhydon back in. Could I have done Psychic there? Predicting that. Psychic there. No, because he would bring Cloyster back in. His Rhydon wouldn't get one shot. He'd bring Cloyster back in, right? But maybe Psychic there, chip the Rhydon. He gets scared and Sleep Powder his switch. I think that would have been a better play from me. And I remember this match because I did it last night at like 1 a.m. So, but I wasn't thinking the best. But I do actually make a few more mistakes in this match if I recall correctly. But I think that would have been a better play. Maybe not, because if I Psychic the Zam, there's the chance he could just Seismic Toss me to death and I get stuck on paralysis. He predicts the explosion, I explode on Cloyster or Rhydon. Executor does like nothing. So I think just sending it in that case was the correct play. Okay, Chansey. Ooh, great predict from me. Of course he's not going to keep the Rhydon in. Get the paralysis on the Chansey. That opens it up for Victory Bell's wrap. Okay. Now I think here, because I'm looking at his team, and I think that's a Sing Chansey, right? I need to make sure that's a Sing Chansey. So I think I'm actually going to keep Executor in. I'm obviously not going to explode, or I have to pick the right time at least, because he has Cloyster and Rhydon there. Okay, so I think I'm going to do Psychic. Yup. Seismic Toss. Sing Thunder Wave, maybe. Seismic Toss. Now, is he going to predict the explosion this turn? I'm crazy. I'm cracked. Okay. Going Gyarados on the Seismic Toss. Right. Seismic Toss comes. I think I want to set up maybe a Leer thing going on. Right. And he thinks Gyarados has Thunderbolt, so Cloyster isn't a safe switch for him. Okay. So I think I might do Body Slam Leer here. Because by doing Body Slam Leer, I will prompt him to switch into something else that I want to Body Slam. So paralyzing Cloyster on the Body Slam would be great. And that's another case for Thunderboltless Gyarados, is that it's actually more valuable to paralyze Cloyster than it is to hit it with a Thunderbolt, because you want to delete his clamp. You want to rob him of clamping you. Okay. Oh, that's huge. Okay. I think now he's going to predict Hyper Beam and go Cloyster. So I'm just gonna do another Body Slam because I want to catch a switch here. Tauros, okay, smart. Where now? Do I just stay on Tauros because I have Persian? This is already paralyzed though. My own Tauros? Am I just gonna fight? Ooh, Thunderbolt Tauros. Okay, he's got the Cloyster counter Tauros. But here's the thing. If he uses Thunderbolt again... Right, but no, that's Body Slam right there. I think that's pretty obviously Body Slam. I think here's a good chance to go Persian to catch the Body Slam, and then Slash or my own Body Slam for the paralysis. Let's see what I do. Executor. Okay. Yep, bad play on my part. That could have been Persian, but who knows? Right? Maybe I'm just trying to sit on Persian a little longer because he's my last unrevealed Pokemon. Because maybe he's thinking he's playing around a Snorlax or a Chansey. Doesn't do Hyper Beam. Interesting. Maybe he was predicting a switch there. 26.5. 29. It's 49. Maybe it wasn't guaranteed either. But if I don't get paralyzed here, it's yes. Okay, get that Taurus out of here. Max value out of the Executor right there. Nice. Alakazam. I think. Oh wait. Okay. I was gonna say sack, but I'm past me's smarter, so I'm probably right. Right? Because I bring the Starman and he just goes back Chansey anyway. Executor can still explode on something, so that was the correct play. Seismic Toss here, and am I going to double? Am I going to double on this Chansey? Or am I just going to send it? Okay, I just send it. Now doubling on that. Yeah, that's risky no matter how you slice it, because if he sees it coming, then Gyarados is cooked, Tauros gets paralyzed, and I still have an awake, healthy, full health Tauros, so that is something to be scared of. All right, gonna sack this. What am I trying to hop over to? Gyarados. Ooh, yeah. I think this might be Hyper Beam range on Chansey, so I hop over to Gyarados, threaten with Hyper Beam, but really I think I want to do a Body Slam because I want to get this or this. That's what I really want to get. I don't give it because I'm not falling for a Hyper Beam on this, right? Okay. There it is. See, I'm trying to get that paralysis. Oh! Oh, I stayed. I stayed. I did not care. I did not care. Oh my god, that's huge. I think he thought Starmie. I think he thought Starmie was coming in, but I'm playing lineup, so I think I just wanted to get the paralysis on that Cloyster period. Because there's no point in me bringing Starmie in. He's just gonna go back. There's no point. Like I just stay Gyarados. So he thought Starmie was coming. Wanted to get it with the Alakazam, right? But this Alakazam's cooked. It's out of there. That's huge. I mean, why wouldn't he go? Oh, of course, because if I stayed Gyarados, Chansey would die. Goes back to Cloyster. Do I go Starmie here and double again, or do I just send it with Body Slam? It might be Starmie here. You know what I think? I think Starmie and then double out to Victory Bell would be incredible. Because I'm looking for that speed tie win against Cloyster. I need this Cloyster gone. I need him gone. And I can get the speed tie. If I get the speed tie win with a Victory Bell, then he is gone, right? I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Yep. Double out. Of course, Chansey. Oh, okay. Took a turn to heal the Starmie. So, like, I think he's going to heal, and then I'm going to bring Gyarados back in. I think that's what I was banking on, is he wants to soft-boiled. And then I just start the Body Slam chain with Gyarados and try to get the Chansey as low as I can. Yeah. I mess up here, guys. I choke so hard with this Gyarados. Please, para. No? Double again? He doubles. He sees it. Okay, he sees it. That sucks. Because, like, what's my plan here? Thunder waves are coming. I think now I have to go Victory Bell. No sack. He soft boils. Okay, back to the original plan. I'm a dumbass. What am I doing? This is where I'm talking about, guys. This is where I choked. That was Body Slam. This is nonstop Body Slam moment. I don't know why I did Hyper Beam there. I think my logic was that, like, Gyarados is going to die anyway, right? But I'm playing right into his hands right now because he wants this Chansey all the way up. And with Hyper Beam's recharge, it doesn't matter unless I get a crit, right? So I switch back to body slam, but I do it again. I swear to God, I do it again. I'm so dumb, y'all. I'm so dumb. I should have just kept clicking body slam because he is just going to soft boiled forever. Okay? I had him in a better range to begin with. See, recharge, boom, free and clear. Free kill. I gave him a free kill right there. Gyarados did effectively nothing against Chansey. That made, like, I realized the error when I clicked Hyper Beam on that, and I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid because he wanted to click Soft Boiled forever, right? He was going to click Soft Boiled forever. So I could have been body slam, Leer body slam, and not have had to fight a hard match at all. But I choked so hard right there. So now it has to be Victory Bell on the wrap all the way. I don't care if there's a Rhydon wakes up. I really don't. And I think I just bully him with wrap. Okay, am I gonna hit it? No, he's gonna pocket Executor. Okay. Okay, yeah. I think for this part I just bully him with wrap a whole lot and end up chipping all his Pokemon down. But this Executor, I don't have anything asleep, so I have to be really careful. We're gonna go through the wrap bullying, just all the way through. You know how this goes. Keep bullying him. We're playing a few mind games throughout this, so like when I miss wrap, okay, miss it twice there. Okay, now party's over. Party's over now, but when I started missing wrap, I would throw out a Razor Leaf, but I was like, why am I throwing out Razor Leaf? I should be throwing out Body Slams so I can chip down this Executor more, and I got him down to 53 because I threw out a couple Body Slams. And at this point, am I just going to go straight Body Slam forever? Or do some more wraps? I don't know. Let's find out. Straight Body Slam. Okay. We just going to Body Slam this Chansey forever until it goes away. Because I want to get it a little chipped down before I bring in something else. Yep, 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 yep. We did. Okay. Now Tauros comes in. All right, so that's about the best Victory Bell could do. And I'm gambiting on Stomp here. Gambiting on Stomp, saving my life. I need Stomp to save my life. And if I get in a sleep sack scenario, it's going to be Starmie because it's a Thunderbolt Starmie and I can't do anything to Executor. And Persian has to finish. So Thunderbolt Persian, looking good. Has Bubble Beam, still looking good. Looking good on Chansey. The only thing it's not looking good on is Executor. Okay. So, maybe not so good. Stomp, do I get it? Do I get it? Oh, God, yes. Stomp saves me. It made up for all the mistakes I made in this one. Okay, this here. And then, I think Earthquake, yeah. And I actually want him to go Executor, but he doesn't, like for the Earthquake, because I have Fire Blast on this Tauros. I don't know if I covered in the in the intro, but Fire Blast is for Executor. It's to hurt him, and it's also to dampen explosions. So I can dampen explosions on Executor, Snorlax, and Cloyster with Fire Blast. So Fire Blast is a slept-on move for Tauros. No lie. And it also helps with the Tauros matchup too. I mean, it's cheesy. You have to hit the 1 in 3 chance, but is it 1 in 3 or 1 in 4? I forgot. You have to hit the fraction to get that burn, but boy is it great. It's Tauros's peak cheese. All right, Body Slam there, no problem. Here is where here's my other mistake. I do this thing I'm doing too long. So I get the burn, I remove his explosion, and also his clamp if I get another one, and he keeps resting. But here is Okay, nice. I go for the finish. That is so rough. That is so rough. But here's my mistake is that at the moment I didn't realize that Persian can finish. Persian can finish this. Okay. I had to time out his rest, get Persian in, and then all I have to do is 2 slashes and a thunderbolt in any sequence. And what I'm trying to do is land the slash on Executor so I can double slash, kill Executor, 1 slash kills Chansey, thunderbolt Cloister for the finish. Period. Period. Period, Queen. Okay? But instead, I'm wasting all this time fire blasting this Cloister hoping for a crit when I could have ended the game already, right? And this is the part where, yep, I choose to time the rest on Persian and do slash first. Boom, right? He thinks the Thunderbolt's coming. Nope. Double slash. Now it's in the bag. This insta-kill and Thunderbolts on this cleans up. So, Persian for the win on this one. Boom. 1535, y'all. 1535. Man, this team. I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no effing way, dude, that this team just pulled that one out. That's crazy. Another thing you'll notice is the lineup method came out on top against a very defensively oriented team. So we got Cloister, Chansey, and Rhydon, and Executor, who's also extremely defensive, right? So the gimmick of this team is that you have a lot of leeway. You have a lot of safety nets, to switch in, block attacks, a lot of great tight matchups. You can keep healing yourself. And that play style, it's all well and good for OU, right? It's, of course, it gets you to the high ranks because you have an extremely diverse team. You have defenses for most of the attacks that are going to come your way. But playing this way, because I used to play this way back in the day, and playing this way gives you a false sense of security in a way, right? You're relying on your opponent not knowing the counterplays, okay? You're relying on your opponent not like double switching and maneuvering in a way that is going to line them up to cut you off from your defense plan. And this is definitely not the only way to play an OU, right? I mean, you can have an offensively oriented team, but the catch with that is you don't have any safety nets. If you have like a meta offensive oriented team, like it's all about playing lineup. It's all about your attack sequence. You can't make any mistakes if you're playing an offensively oriented team. And the most common example of offensive oriented teams that are meta in OU are teams that have a lot of explosion. They're very explosion heavy teams. It's the most offensive possible move, right? But the caveat of that is you better be playing those turns right, or you're about to waste an entire Pokemon on nothing, and your opponent's just going to heal themselves, right? Another offensively oriented team structure is paralysis trapping teams. So Cloister, Victory Bell, Dragonite, maybe Moltres in a sense, but probably not. Moltres is very not meta, gets clapped by Starmie, but, if you look at this structure, his only 2 fast Mons are Tauros and Alakazam, right? Well, if you are a high-ranked meta player that plays an offensive trapping team, you could probably clap this team, no doubt, right? So I'd say the defensive team structure in OU is the most orthodox because it's the easiest to play. It's the easiest to play because you get that sense of security of like, oh, well, I can just go Cloister on Tauros. I can just go Cloister on Snorlax. I can block with Rhydon, I can absorb the Earthquake with Executor, block the Thunderbolt with Executor, right? Oh, I can just switch around. Starmie comes in, I'll just go Chansey, right? You get that false sense of security that you're like invincible, and you're not. Like smart players are gonna like as soon as you get one chance, you get one reveal, and as soon as they know it's there, they're like, all right, well now I know what you're trying to do. I know that you think you're safe and that you can block me with this, so I am going to maneuver my offense in such a way that it doesn't matter because I know what you're trying to do, you know. And we saw plenty of that in this match with Victory Bell and Gyarados, pretty much denying his switch ins because he wanted to play safe, and I knew what he wanted to do. So he thought Thunderbolt was coming. No, it's Body Slam. You know, going Victory Bell instead of Executor, so I could deny the Cloyster. Stuff like that, sequencing in a way that you're denying them of their desired course of action. I mean, doubling Starmie for Chansey, oldest trick in the book, dude. Oldest trick in the book, and people still gut switch Chansey into Starmie. Every time. It's unbelievable. And the end game, right? Timing out the rest, he thinks he can just sit there with rest the whole time? No. No. All it takes is one cycle for me to pinpoint your timing, and then I get a free switch and you lose 3 turns right then and there, okay? Persian comes in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I have Thunderbolt. Like 2 slashes and 1 Thunderbolt is all it takes. So now you have to play against like 2 guessing games, right? When is the Thunderbolt going to come? And if you switch an Executor and the Thunderbolt doesn't come, you lose. I've denied you. I've denied you your plan of action just by like pre-firing this thing, like pre-selecting this thing that gets in your way. I'm not playing defensively. I'm playing offensively. So I'm taking more risk for more reward. Anyway, I hope that gives you some insight into OU, and I also hope you enjoyed the video.